Gray hair and strands are another very important parameters when choosing a hair system. I've mentioned it a little bit before and talked about gray hairs in a hair system for those who are already getting or have their own gray hairs. And you realize that basically you should have a hair system with gray hairs as well. Like me, for example, my beard is starting to gray gradually. Gray hairs appear, so I order also gray hairs for the hair system. Therefore, also, of course, you have to pay attention to the hair that you have on the sides and back. Here, I will also have gray hair if I grow it to a certain length. That's why I almost always order hair systems with a portion of gray hair. Yes, if you cut your hair short, maybe it won't be noticeable. That is practically to zero, then the gray is not visible. But even here, I have a gradual transition. And if in one part of the almost shaved head, then above this length comes to a centimeter. And there should be a transition to the same quality of hair. And especially if I grow the hair longer here, the transition will be noticeable. Well, I also have a partially gray beard. Once again, that's why I order my systems with gray hair as well. I also order gray hair systems for my guys sometimes. I can order gray hair in a certain percentage. For me, for example, 5 to 6% gray hair is more suitable. It is always necessary to choose the hair system for your situation. You can order your first hair system with 10% gray hair and see how well that works for you. Maybe it will be too much, maybe not enough. I also ordered my first hair systems with 10% gray hair. That was a lot, and I cut them off at the root myself, which is a very meticulous job, because if you pull the hair out, you can damage the base of the hair system. If you cut it yourself, it can take either a few hours or a few days. After all, in this case, you need to trim the hair under the very root. If this is not done correctly, the remnants of this hair will stick out very unnaturally and spoil the overall look of the hairstyle. Therefore, the correct percentage of gray hair you will understand from practice. Not for the first time, most likely, and this is normal. You need to order first one system, look, and already to the second or third system of hair will know more precisely with what parameter of gray hair to order. Or ask for help from me, because I have a lot of experience. Also, gray hair can be different. They can be artificial, more dense. They can also be natural hair. They can be colored, but it's more difficult. And more often, gray hair comes back anyway, and it happens quite quickly. As for artificial hair, they are not colored. So if you, for example, dye and order a hair system with too much gray hair and decide to just paint over it, it may not work. So again, I'll say it again. The first point is you need to pick up and know the base color of your hair that you have on the side and back so that it all fits and there's no difference. Plus, if you need to find the right amount of gray hair. The second point is the density of the hair system, also by trial and error to identify the right percentage of hair density and the percentage of gray hair to the density that you need. This will all give a great natural look. But also remember that gray hair and gray hair percentage hair systems are much more complicated, and it can also cost a lot more. You can try to do it yourself, or I can help pick a manufacturer where I buy myself. We'll select and order the right hair system for you, just to make it look natural. Sometimes it takes several months to make a hair system specifically for your head with all the necessary parameters, but it will be a hair system specifically for your head. I also want to remind you that I never stop looking for good hair system suppliers. If you are a supplier or factory and you have excellent quality systems, please write to me, and I will be happy to try your products. If it is really good quality, I will order constantly from you. Likewise, for those who need a hair system. As you realize, I test different manufacturers' systems on myself and select the best. Whoever needs my personal help, we can get together in a one-on-one call and sort out any questions that might arise, where I will guide you using my vast experience in hair systems. This is actually what I have been looking for myself for a long time, when I wanted to try a hair system and haven't done it in years because I was afraid to go all the way on my own and didn't even know how to start. So I'm going to help you go all the way much faster and get the perfect system as soon as possible, and one that will be just right for you. Now, I have implemented this in my service for those who trust me in my detailed consultations. In fact, many people get frustrated with their hair system precisely because they don't know how to get it right and how to optimize the use of their hair system. I will make your journey much shorter and easier so that you can start enjoying your hair system as soon as possible, just like I do now. I'll cover all the nuances and pitfalls, the proper way to use the hair system. How do I start? How do I glue and clean the hair system? What if the hair on the hair system gets tangled? Or maybe duct tape to secure the hair system? Also, don't forget to check out my first very important video about who's going to benefit the hair system and who it's not. You shouldn't try the cheapest and worst system from AliExpress, just like you shouldn't buy the first expensive custom system. You need to start with an important knowledge gap to answer all your questions, prepare you, and then move on to practical use. After all, you need to know how it all works. What is a hair system? I can compare it with the choice and experience of the first car. You can buy a Ferrari right away, but without the right knowledge and experience, you can crash the car very quickly. Just like you should not start with a very bad car, because after it, you will probably hate driving. You know what I mean? This will also be in the video second and third part of the hair system guide. These will be available for a quite small fee. This is a guide that I've been creating for 6 months. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to call this a pay for my labor and respect for my work. Thank you. In my guide parts 2 and 3, I show everything on myself. How to glue, how to clean, change the hair system, and much more. How to properly wash my hair with the hair system, and how I swim in the pool with the hair system, for instance, etc. Shall we move on to practice? The second and third part of the hair system guide, link in the description. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video.